What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today in this video we're going to be talking all about the new Rise of Iron raid. So everything we know so far from recent Game Informer writers who've actually played the raid and given some brief descriptions of their encounters. So we're going to be going over some of the basic details, some of the themes and impressions from Game Informer, some of the rewards and raid gear, what they look like, and also how I think the artifacts will come into play in this raid. So first off, the raid is called Wrath of the Machine, which in itself is a very interesting name, and stick around to this video because I'll be going over why that name is so important and some of the clues it may give off about what to expect. So Rise of Iron of course launches on the 20th of September, which is the Tuesday, with the raid launching on that Friday, the 23rd of September. So a bit disappointing, there's only 3 days to prepare. It's going to be a very short grind, you need to kind of speed through in order to get ready for the raid if you want to do it on day 1, but those are the dates. In terms of timings, expect it to be live around 10 AM Pacific or 6 PM GMT like they always are. The highest light level you'll be able to get to with all the raid gear is 385, and the hard mode of this raid will launch a few weeks later, which will let you get to 400. So with the details out of the way, let's get into some of the impressions from Game Informer who have played the raid about what to expect. They said the players are in for big surprises. The raid is a continuation of the main story. It's mainly about Siva and the Devil Splicers, as opposed to the main core campaign of the Rise of Iron, which is focused on Saladin and the Iron Lords and also their interactions with Siva. But this is mainly about the Splicers and how they're interacting with it. They said it's action-packed and focuses on constant mobility, and one of the writers also said that massive steamroller, the massive machine on the wall, is one of their favourite set pieces in a Destiny game to date. It's one of their favourite encounters they've ever had, and we've seen that contraption on the wall. Apparently this is a really unique encounter and is very different and weird. Apparently you're not going to expect what you actually have to do, and it'll take quite a while to figure out what you're supposed to do in order to beat this. It's not like anything we've seen before, and you can see in the trailer at some point they turn around to run from it. So simply evading this machine is probably going to be some part of the challenge, but the one thing they said repeatedly is that this is very different and very weird. They said there's going to be numerous outdoor locations and also quite memorable boss fights, so it sounds like half the raid is going to be setting outdoors, which is quite nice as a change. Most of our raid encounters tend to be in like dungeons or caves or fortresses, so it's very nice to be outside and it's going to be a different change of scenery. They also said that some of the high points in the Plaguelands patrol, you'll be able to spot some of the raid locations and you'll see where some of the raid fights actually take place. We do know that most of the later encounters in the raid are going to be deep underground at the core of Siva, and Bungie have said that's where we face the most zealous and powerful Devil Splicers, so expect the final raid boss to be deep underground, but it seems like at least half the raid is going to be outdoors in these big Plaguelands areas. Now the most important thing they said is that collision is a very big theme, and also it's smashing stuff together, so it's going to be almost like this death race. They said that you'll understand why collision is so important when you face the raid's blistering challenges, and evidently movement is a very big part of this raid. I can imagine things similar to the jumping puzzle in the Daughters section and the Oryx section where you got to hop around the platforms. They've already talked about mobility, movement, and also collision multiple times, so I'm guessing some kind of hopping around at jumping platforms mixed with a robot trying to smash you to death. That sounds like the theme they're going for. Someone from Game Informer was joking about how it seemed like this raid had some influences from Fury Road, which is the new Mad Max film. So if you've seen Mad Max, then expect some kind of themes from there to come into play here. They also said that we get to witness the Fallen's interaction with Siva itself, so I'm imagining from this is probably some boss that gets really weak and he's about to die and he's a Fallen, and then just as he's about to die he grabs some Siva and becomes even more superpowered, and you can literally see himself being infused with Siva, and then regenerates his health and you have to fight him again in this more improved form. Of course that's just my speculation, but it doesn't seem like too much of a far-fetched idea, but we do know we're going to be seeing some kind of Fallen and we're going to witness how they interact with Siva. Now, in terms of the name Wrath of the Machine and its meaning, whenever we refer to the Fallen and use the word machine, it's always used for servitors or prime servitors. So Wrath of the Machine, it sounds to me like the final boss will be a massive servitor. It could be used in another way because the Fallen actually refer to the Traveller as the Great Machine from when they had their golden age. So maybe Wrath of the Machine is referring to our Traveller having its wrath on the Fallen. You might also remember a section in the old Prison of Elders which is called Machine Wrath, and that was a boss fight where you fight a giant reborn version of Calyx who is a prime servitor. So a massive boss fight called Machine Wrath, and we're getting a raid called Wrath of the Machine. So I'm betting there's going to be some kind of massive servitor in this fight. I'm thinking that's probably going to be the final boss. So that's something to think about in regards to the name of this raid. So we also got to see all 3 of the raid gear sets for the Hunter, Titan, and Warlock. So my personal favourite out of the 3 has got to be the Warlock. He does kind of look like he's got a cheese grater or like a massive waffle press on his chest, but aside from that he does look really evil. Absolutely love the design. And also my favourite thing is that simply they're symmetrical for once. I'm so used to all the Hunter raid gear being not symmetrical with this giant spike on one of their shoulders or their boots or something, and even the Titan mark is down the middle instead of on its hip. I really want to see what these look like with the shaders, and also we know with ornaments, the new customization feature, you can change the colors and lighting effects. There's going to be a ton of customization you can actually add on top of this raid gear, which is really awesome, and I cannot wait to get some of this hunter gear as my main character. So the final thing I wanted to talk about is the artifacts, the special Iron Lord ones. I made a detailed video talking about all their abilities. If you want to see that, it'll be in the description. But I think they're going to be a very integral part of this raid, and I can imagine some people saying like you need a certain artifact to do the raid, like how you need Spindle or Touch Malice or the G-Horn. And I think if collision is going to be so important, and especially mobility, the first one that comes to mind to me is the Yoda Artifact, which I think is going to be very, very good. That allows you to have no sprint cooldown, so you can start and stop sprinting instantly, and I can almost guarantee this will come in handy, and you can keep your full speed and momentum. Now, the Scory one I think will absolutely be the artifact for the raid. This allows you to speed up the supers of all your nearby allies. There is no doubt in my mind that this will be the most used one. I'm doubting that these stack on top of each other where multiple people can run Scory's artifacts and have really quick supers. I bet it's only one at a time that needs to run it, but having your Titan bubbles and tethers ready will be a really big help, and it's such a simple, beneficial ability to have. Now, the Silumar one might be handy if there's any mechanics that involve burning you. I can see it happening. I doubt they made the artifact just for Thorn and Firebolts, which no one ever used anymore. So I'm betting there's probably some room with either poisoning you or burning you. So maybe Silumar might come in handy. And finally, Timer, I'm not too sure. Like I said before, I need to know more of how this actually works to see if it'll be useful. But turning Dregs friendly, it could be useful, could not. It depends exactly how it functions. But those are my predictions for the artifacts and which ones I think will be good. I think Yoda and Scory 100%, and Silumar and Timer, it depends on if there's burning or how turning enemies actually work. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video, little discussion about everything we know so far about the raid. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.